Microeconomics and Macroeconomics. Microeconomics is the study of individuals, households, and firms' behavior in decision making and allocation of resources. It generally applies to markets of goods and services and deals. While macroeconomics looks at the decisions of countries and governments, while these two branches of economics appear to be different, they are actually interdependent and complement one another. What is the difference between micro and macro, you ask? The main difference is that micro looks at small segments and macro looks at the whole economy. What are the three main concepts of microeconomics? Marginal utility and demand, diminishing returns and supply, elasticity of demand, elasticity of supply, market structures excluding perfect competition and monopoly, role of prices and profits in determining source allocation. What are the goals of microeconomics? Major goals of microeconomic policy are efficiency, equity, and growth. Economic growth is often treated as a macroeconomic issue, but it is closely related to micro behavior of the economy and the functioning of markets. On the producer sides, industrial organization has grown into a field within microeconomics that focuses on the detailed study of the structure of firms and how they operate in different markets, says Peter Budarenko. Microeconomics versus macroeconomics, an overview. Economics is divided into two categories, microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics is the study of individual and business decisions, while macroeconomics looks at the decisions of countries. Although these two branches of economics appear different, they are actually interdependent and complement one another. Many overlapping issues exist between the two fields. Key takeaways. Microeconomics studies individuals and business decisions, while macroeconomics analyzes the decisions made by countries and governments. Microeconomics focuses on supply and demand and other forces that determine price levels, making it a bottom-up approach. Macroeconomics takes a top-down approach and looks at the economy as a whole, trying to determine its course and nature. Investors can use microeconomics in their investments decisions, while macroeconomics is an analytical tool mainly. Microeconomics focuses on supply and demand and other forces that determine price levels in the economy. It takes a bottom-up approach to analyzing the economy. In other words, microeconomics tries to understand human choices, decisions, and the allocation of resources. Having said that, microeconomics does not try to answer or explain what forces should take place in a market. Rather, it tries to explain what happens when there are changes in certain conditions. For example, microeconomics examines how a company could maximize its production and capacity so that it could lower prices and better compete. A lot of microeconomic information can be gleaned from company financial statements. Important. The rules in microeconomics flow from a set of compatible laws and theorems, rather than beginning with empirical study. Macroeconomics. Macroeconomics, on the other hand, studies the behavior of a country and how its policies impact the economy as a whole. It analyzes entire industries and economies, rather than individuals or specific companies, which is why it is a top-down approach. It tries to answer questions such as, what should the rate of inflation be? Or what stimulates economic growth? Macroeconomics examines economy, wide phenomena such as gross domestic products, or GDP, and how it is affected by changes in unemployment, national income, rates of growth, and price levels. Macroeconomics analyzes how an increase or decrease in net exports impacts a nation's capital account, or how gross domestic products or GDP is impacted by the unemployment rate. Macroeconomics focuses on aggregates and econometric correlations, which is why governments and their agencies rely on macroeconomics to formulate economic and fiscal policy. Investors who buy interest rate sensitive securities should keep a close eye on monetary and fiscal policy. Outside a few meaningful and measurable impacts, macroeconomics doesn't offer much for specific investments. John Maynard Keynes is often credited as the founder of macroeconomics, as he initiated the use of monetary aggregates to study broad phenomena. Some economists dispute his theories, while many Keynesians disagree on how to interpret his work. Now, moving on to the next topic, which is investors and microeconomics versus macroeconomics. Individual investors may be better off focusing on microeconomics rather than macroeconomics. Fundamental and value investors may disagree with technical investors about the proper role of economic analysis. But it is more likely that microeconomics will impact an individual investment. Warren Buffett famously stated that macroeconomic forecasts didn't influence his investing decisions. When asked how he and partner Charlie Munger choose investments, Buffett said, "Charlie and I don't pay attention to macro forecasts. We have worked together now for 54 years, and I can think of a time we made a decision on a stock or on a company where we've talked about macro." Buffett also has referred to macroeconomic literature as the funny papers. And that is the end of the video. I hope you guys liked it. If you do, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and comment down below what do you want me to do next. That's it. Bye!